Good morning, Elena.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. Sorry, I'm just having a reminder here on my phone that we have a meeting, but that's all right. Elena, I'm a business coach, and I've invited you as um, advisor, as a counselor in style. I really admire your work, and I've subscribed to your page on Instagram, and I'm so happy that you agreed to see me today and discuss style for personal branding.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. And today I want to start with the basic question which I face when we have to discuss the style of my clients when we talk about personal branding. And the huge problem which I have to, deal with every day is that many people feel a bit taken aback when I say that you have to say a stylist, when I say that you have to think what kind of personality you want to present as yourself on your business page, on your website, on your social media profile. And this is the reason why I initially invited you for this conversation. And I'm sure that you have all sorts of experience and expertise in order to give us some answers which we really need. So to begin with, Yelena, what do you think? What is the role of our look, our appearance in personal branding? Why is it important at all?
Yes, it is extremely important. I mean, it's a cliche in a sort, but unfortunately, or fortunately maybe, as a society, we judge based on the visual package. We all know the saying, don't judge the book by its cover, but reality is very different. And it's done every day. It's completely normal. It's done to you and by you every single day, whether that's in a professional situation or in domestic situation. We do create the first impression by how the person appears to us. And it's not only the first impression, it's how you then continue to present yourself and maintain your image, so to speak, and how you want to build it. Why is it important? I think it's because if you like your reflection in the mirror yourself, it gives you confidence. It affects how you feel about yourself. You feel more confident, you feel more relaxed in a way that you actually think about what is important, not about how do I look, how do they think it's appropriate, not appropriate. You don't do that anymore. You focus on what the message that you have to communicate to your audience, and you feel confident. And confidence implies competence, I would say. So it affects how you talk, how you, your body language. It creates positive energy, and people react so to yourself when you actually present that image. I think what is also important in our age is how modern and relevant you appear. So I think a lot of people think that, okay, well, I have this beautiful Armani suit that I've bought 20 years ago, and it still looks fantastic, and it may be so, but does the style and cut reflect the current trends, reality? Nobody expects you to look like the picture from the Vogue magazine, but if there's something that screams at you, this is something that my mother wore so many years ago, it actually doesn't create an image that you want to appear modern and relevant and current, and go, the same time with the current trends. And there's a big emphasis, I think, at the moment on this growth mindset and your adaptability, your flexibility. And yes, it's not only applicable to your appearance, but I think how you look also plays the part in that, because you can immediately communicate, okay, well, I dressed according to the current style. I have the clothes that fit me very well. And it actually says something about the fact that you pay attention to the things and you pay attention to detail as well. So how many times have we seen the descriptions in the job descriptions and in the resume somewhere, or even the people who actually want you to hire you as an accountant or as somebody else. You want people to pay attention to detail, and that's where your appearance can play a very important role.
Yeah, well, I totally agree with you here. Let's talk about how people can decide what they want to look like. I mean, I've already mentioned that as a business coach, I often refer my clients to a stylist. I just think that professional advice is very important, very useful, and it's also is supposed, well, in my mind, it is supposed to be gentle. This is a huge issue which I see when people have low esteem and they feel like, okay, what if they tell me that I'm completely wrong? What if they tell me that I'm wearing, well, wrong outfits and do something wrong? They are so scared of mistakes that they're often scared of being referred to a specialist. And my idea
Yeah, I
is,
know.
yeah, yes.
And then, yeah, I think I was going to say, maybe I'll let you finish and then I'll start
Yeah,
answering.
yeah.
Sorry.
Thank you, thank you. Yes, I was just going to say that when talking about personal branding, especially in social media, what we have to do, we have to be open-minded and we have to be ready to go public. And saying that, I mean that we have to shoot videos, we have to be ready to switch on the camera for a Zoom conference any time of the day. We have to be ready to shoot stories, those short 15-second videos where we share our personal life. And to my mind, it's very important, first of all, to like yourself, to like how you look, because
Yes.
if because that can add up to your confidence, self-confidence, and if you pay attention to what you wear, to what makeup you have on, how your hair is styled, I think that's just much easier, to click that button and face your clients, your customers,
Yeah.
face your friends.
So that there's, yes, you're quite right. And there's a few things I think you touched upon here. And maybe I'll start with saying that the concept of this personal dress code is very important, right? Even if you are you're entrepreneur or you're freelancer, whoever you are, and you not abide by some corporate dress code, it doesn't mean that you can't develop your own dress code. And in fact, you should, for the same reason as you mentioned. First of all, you never know when you have to switch on the camera nowadays, and it could be any point of time, so unexpected call from the client or whatever it might be. Or even if you are just, have a break in a day and you need to dash out to buy some groceries in a local supermarket, you may bump into someone, and if you're in your pajamas, figuratively speaking, that may not create a good appearance. So that should be always at the back of your mind, I suppose. And again, it doesn't have to go overboard, but it has to be something that is simple, but is stylish and it's well presented. So you kind of always look put together, so to speak. It don't have to have excessive makeup at all. I mean, nowadays I advise, I literally, this is probably the first time in many days that I put the eye makeup on. I usually just end up doing my eyebrows and a lipstick, and that's probably enough. And that's something what I mean, that there should be enough in your personal dress code to make you look put together at any point of time. And then that appearance is actually then is stuck in people's kind of perception and the reflection of you. When they think of you, that's the image that they have in their head. That's one thing. And the other thing you asked at the beginning, how do I know whether I wear the right outfit or not, right? And I'm sure in your other segments on the personal branding, you probably touched on the concept of knowing your target audience, right? And I think it's it's extremely important when you actually communicate, when you put your presentation together, if you're actually pitching to a client or whatever that might be. but it's also important in terms of how you dress for that occasion. I think that concept of knowing your target audience can influence it a lot. Say, if you know that you're going to make a presentation to a bunch of very conservative, older generation people in a particular industry that is quite dry by nature or what have you, it's probably reasonable to assume that they don't expect you to turn up in a bright pink and wear funky glasses or whatever. That would be the wrong image that will go against the probably stereotype, but nevertheless present perception of how you should look like. On the other hand, if you're presenting to the younger, more vibrant audience or a mixed audience, and it's in a less formal situation that you're going to do that, so then your appearance should reflect that as well. Then there's no point of turning up in a stiff suit and a white shirt and the black jacket that will look too formal, not appropriate, very stiff, and it won't put people at ease. I guess that's so the appropriateness of your outfit and total look plays enormous role, and it has to depend on location, the level of formality of your presentation, your audience, and all of that together. I think when you think about the message that you want to communicate, at the same time think about, okay, and how should I look like? How would they expect me to look like? And after that, maybe add the personal touch to it, and then it will be a perfect picture. So how would they expect me to look like? Fit into that frame and add the personal touch. That's for me is the perfect formula of how to look.
Yeah, exactly. I totally agree here because, well, a personal brand is the conception which you create for other people to think of you. It's not really how you feel exactly. I mean, personal branding is what you make people think of you. And some
Yes.
people are taken aback and say, well, I don't want to create a false impression. I want to be myself. But that's not the way we need to, formulate that question. We are unique. Everyone is unique, and as specialists, especially when building a personal brand, we do accept that yes, we are unique, we are personalities, and to reflect that personality, this is where you need to think of what other people might
Yes,
read.
absolutely. It's a conscious effort to influence the perception of others of yourself. That's what personal branding is. It's absolutely targeted towards the influencing the perception of others of you. That's totally right. But at the same time, I think being yourself is also important in a sense that you still need to feel confident. And if you're not comfortable, if you think that this doesn't suit me, well, she told me to wear the suit, but I don't like it. Or, she told me to put this, accent jewelry on, and I never wear this. It will make you feel uneasy, and that will reflect in your body language and how you speak and etc.
Yeah.
So it still has to be something that you personally like, not something that is imposed by a stylist or anyone else, blogger or an influencer on the social media. It still has to be something that you personally like, so that you actually like your reflection in the mirror and you feel completely at ease and comfortable how you look, and therefore confident. So it's a
Elena,
balance.
let me say a few words of how I met you. A couple of weeks ago, I published a screaming advertisement saying that, well, I need a stylist urgently. And that was how I really felt. I really felt that, okay, I asked a couple of friends who, already used some services of this kind. And they said, well, I don't know where to find one. And I was actually taking that, step, publishing this request of referring me to someone as something serious. And when I got, so many responses, I was shocked. I was really shocked. I was like, okay, so many people are actually engaged in this area, and I know no one personally. and that was a bit strange, and at the same time I felt enthusiastic because I could immediately contact a few people, and I felt as if I opened, a box, a gift box, and it was full of surprises. That's how I felt. To discover that there are so many people enthusiastic about, assembling those looks and giving advice and inspiring people through their social media pages, and it is amazing. Can you tell me when you started to do this kind of support? I see that your page is quite established on Instagram. When did you start, and how did it all?
Well, the thing is, I've been doing it for a very long time as a hobby. I addressed my friends, I addressed my parents, I addressed relatives, and it was definitely hobby, something that I would love to do. And my girlfriends would just pick up the phone and say, "Would you like to go shopping?" And we would agree, and then we'll just be very informal, and just an enjoyable social event more than anything else. And then I realized that I really would love to do it more professionally, and I decided that, okay, well, I can do some formal education so that it put together the structure around my practical knowledge, right? Because uh, whether you like it or not, you can complete all these degrees and courses in various European schools of styling and fashion. But at the end of the day, I think the personal styling is all about practice. It's probably 80% practice and 20% of theory of how you apply your knowledge. So I did the online course was the Australian Institute of Style, and then did a short practical, very practical course with one of the Australian stylists, quite well known, Wendy Mack. And that gave me very good practical aspect of how to structure your professional session with the client, for example, and just gives you a lot of good tips and tricks that you have to think about when you do it professionally rather than as a hobby with your friends. And that happened about 7 years ago now. And since then, I started offering my services in a more professional manner, and obviously charging for the services. Um, yeah, that's how it started, and it's been 7 years now. I don't have too many clients, and the reason for that is because I do have another job. I've been working in the financial sector, in the corporate sector, for nearly 25 years. Um, and that is my bread and butter, so to speak. But I believe that I need to give myself an opportunity to do something for the soul. And this is what I enjoy doing. Um, but it does put some limitations in how much I can devote, how much time I can devote to this. So I do have 1 or 2 clients a month, as usually, and that's quite enough. That makes it enjoyable for me and enjoyable for my clients as well.
That
Yeah.
sounds very, very interesting. Thank you for sharing your story. And one more thing, probably the last one for today, I want to ask you. Could you be so kind and give some reassurance to those who still hesitate? And before you start, I want to just give a comparison. We all know what a dentist do. When we go and see a dentist, it's not always pleasant. And though, well, I have such a lovely dentist from Egypt, and he's doing absolutely miracles to my teeth, but we still feel that, well, we are exposing ourselves to a specialist who will, peep into all those little holes and, see the real body of us. So, but we still know that it's good for us. it's good to see a dentist twice a year for a checkup. It's good when you have some, hesitation, go and ask instead of waiting, wasting our time, because with time it can get worse. I mean, the toothache can get worse. So what about style? Can you give some reassurance to those people who still hesitate and who still, maybe taken aback? Maybe they feel that, well, that's so unpleasant to, to show someone all the wardrobe I have. It's so like I can't, share all that, the intimacy of the situation.
Look, the thing is, it's like it's like well, forgive me for the analogy. It's almost like seeing a personal doctor. There's nothing wrong with that, right? So the good stylist is a little bit of a psychologist as well, because I have to kind of put myself in your shoes. I have to understand how you think, what your lifestyle is, what are your surroundings, what's your goals, what are your objectives, because I'm not going to dress you according to my personal preferences, because that wouldn't work for you. So I kind of have to analyze all the information that you give me and put myself in your shoes and create the solution that is right for you, not for me or according to my personal taste or my lifestyle or my objectives, but according to yours. Um, yes, you have to. I think the big thing for the personal stylist is to establish that trust with the client. But I think you have to ask yourself, what do I have to lose? At the end of the day, what do I have to lose? Right. So I think a lot of people think that the hiring a personal stylist is a very expensive affair. I don't think so. Well, the couple of $100s that you probably invest into this relationship will come back manyfold in the first shopping that you do, post your session with the stylist, because hopefully when you go and do the personal shopping session with the stylist, you ask questions, you learn something, you actually learn why the stylist chose things for you that actually then you like in the mirror when you put them on and said, oh, I never thought about it, right? um, so you kind of learn things about yourself, you learn things about the current trends, you learn things probably about the local brands that you've never shopped in before, and the knowledge that you gain in return is worth that investment, and you'll have the result which is satisfactory, hopefully, and it actually makes you feel good about yourself. And what is the worst case scenario? Yes, you've lost this couple of $100. Well, how many times were you unhappy with your hairdresser before you found the one that you actually like and you go
Exactly.
to for years? That will cost you exactly the same amount of money. Okay, so yes, there's a gamble as with anyone, but you may be unhappy with the doctor who somebody recommended as a fantastic doctor, but you didn't create this rapport, you didn't find it's easy to talk to that person. It could be the same with the personal stylist, but I think it's a worth a trial. And so what would I also recommend is actually to have this wardrobe cleaning, wardrobe reorganization session before you actually go shopping. It's so good on many levels. First of all, it gives the stylist an idea what you already have, because it's very seldom in my practice. It never happened when I come to somebody's place and say, well, everything that you've got in here has to go. It never happens. Yes, some of it I would probably advise that it probably better go. I never throw anything out myself. I'll just tell you, I'll create a pile that I think has to go, but then it's up to you to action on that. I do not come with the garbage bags and take it out of your house, right? You do it yourself. Um, but the thing is, it gives the stylist an idea of what you already have in your wardrobe. And so many instances, just putting the new outfits together from the pieces that you already have, combining it in a way that you've never had before, that creates such a value add for a person that at the end of the session, they feel like, gee, I don't even know if I need a shopping session now. I have so many options that I never felt that I had. And just one session gives me so much more. But if you do decide to go and then have a shopping session afterwards, then it's very, targeted shopping. So session, we already know what you have. We created a list of what is missing to actually create a perfect capsule wardrobe, or whatever is your objective is. And then we go shopping as a target, with the target in our head, not just window shopping or let's see what they have now. That's not how it works. So this packaged kind of deal is always so much more effective than just meeting a person for 5 minutes and going shopping just based on the brief that you give a stylist. So yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, if you don't like a person who came to your house, you don't like the advice that they give, you don't have to act on it. And yeah, always ask yourself, what I've got to lose. That's my advice.
Yeah, that seems quite natural to me. Thank you very much, Elena. Thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing your knowledge, and I hope that you can find more inspiration and more clients after this short video, because
Yes.
I'm sure that all the people who watch this, series, which I call "Sell Yourself" via personal branding, I'm sure they're all interested in look a little bit better than they already do. So
Okay, thank you. Yes, if you like it, you can subscribe to my page on Instagram or Facebook. There's the same name, Effortless Styling. Um, I'll be very happy to see you there. And thank you for inviting me to be part of this marathon that you doing.
thank you, Elena.